Hey guys, how's it going? I got to the point of the night where I'm just kind of walking around and not doing anything productive, so I figured I'd grab the camera and see if I could do that. What we got over here is the remains of my rust proofing for the outside, I think. That's what we got. Two of those are melted down, toilet bowl, wing, toilet, yeah, toilet ring wax. And this stuff is really, you know, it's not quite as hard as pushing into a candle, but you know, pretty close to it. So I took that, melted it down in a pot, two of them actually, and then took a throwaway brush and kind of used that up on the roof and around the windows. But before I put it on, I took goof off again, and I got a real heavy Scotch-Brite. Where's that sucker? It's around here somewhere. Here it is. I went with like a really heavy weight. This thing was 3 times the thickness when it was new here. Better example. That's kind of what they look like. Really coarse stuff. And the roof was really rusty, so I took the goof off, sprayed it on the roof like I did everywhere else, and then just kind of scrubbed it real good, and then just wiped it off with a rag. And did the windshield frames, and down below I tried to stop here because this hasn't been cleaned yet, but this is some blown over wax. But anyway, I cleaned it the best I could with the goof off and knocking all the rust down, because it's really, I mean, it's heavy. Look at it, right, and down the trough. But then afterwards I took that wax and painted it on like a paintbrush. The only problem was it got so cold when you were putting it on the roof, it kind of had like lines in it from the brush, you know. But what I ended up doing was taking just a torch and just going right over it with the flame, and anywhere where it kind of had like a goober, say like here. Okay, can you see that? Where you can see the lines in it? I would just kind of like re-solidify it like that, and what's good is it went down in all the little pores, and the more I heated it up, it just kind of ran into everywhere. Oh, and in between too, but when I had the goof off on there, and I kind of wanted to clean the surface a little bit, you know, because I wanted the pores as empty and dry as possible before I put the wax on, I went over with heat to kind of like burned off whatever was there. Not enough to, you know, bake it, but enough to dry it out. You can kind of see where it, you know, it loses its shine when you're going over with the heat. And then back on with the wax again, and back on with the heat again, and then you can kind of see that'll just kind of go away. It's still a little warm now, but, and you can actually rub that down too when you heat it. So if it's too thick in spots, I just took a rag and I probably actually wiped off about half of it. Here's one of the rags, you know, so you can kind of throttle what you want. So I like that. I like the look of it too. I don't know if you guys, I mean, it's porous, but it's all sealed, and all the loose stuff has been knocked off, so it should stay pretty good. I'm hoping, you know. I'm sure the water's gonna beat on it. And then while I had the glass out, I did the top part of the dash to about right here. Did the same thing, just kind of knocked that off because I didn't want to try dealing with that when the glass is in there. And that's got a nice look to it too. Again, someday I'll be able to take this thing outside and actually show you. Got a good look here. It'll give you a good idea. You can see where I kind of dribbled off that after I heated it, but it's not like it's that big of a deal, because actually if you put your finger in it, you could actually just kind of spread it right out, you know. But it's just like a nice heavy waxy paste that you're just putting into every little pore and just trying to stop it. It'll just pickle the thing, you know. So that's what was done there. Hopefully I may do the whole thing like that, I'm not sure. Easy maintenance, you know. And then as like when you wipe it down, if you wipe it down, let's say power steering fluid or something, it'll kind of like cut the top edge of it, but deep down in all the little pores, that wax has been pushed in there, you know, and it's not going to come out. And what else? Patches. I've been working on patches. Oh, actually, I should do glass first. Yes and no. Was putting this one back in. These are the original glass, and it had a crack in it. You can see the crack right there. A couple of good rock shots on it. What I liked about it, you can see it. You see the little bubbles and stuff that are coming up. They're like little tiny lava lamps. Even in the crack, you see how old that crack's been there, you know? Same idea. But yeah, doesn't that suck? Right up the center of it. So I thought I can get away with this in inspection, you know, saying you're kind of pushing it a little bit. I don't know, you got cracked dead center through it, you know. I'm going to still try pleading that I look through that one. Let's see what happens. What I'll do is I'll look around in a junkyard and see if I can find another old window that kind of has the same characteristics. The problem is this is probably like this because of it was in extreme heat at one point, and then, you know, then to the cold weather. So I don't know if I'm going to find it that does that same kind of look. You know, some of them just cloud and turn white on the edges. Anyway, enough of that. This one's ready to go in. It's got its turn, and if you look at it, you know, it's still all the same thing. It's got those same defects that I kind of like. You can see those ones. Yeah. Little bubbles coming in, separating between the two. But I like that kind of stuff, and it kind of fits it, you know. It's the original glass for it, and I try to keep whatever I can with it. There's the shine. You can see the shine on the roof compared to the rest of it. I think that'll gotta be nice. Like when that rust gets hit with it too, it's going to give it that same thing, but with, you know, with a sheen to it. That'll look great. It's going to make it just stand right out. I'm going back and forth between putting seals on the doors and not, and you know, how much stuff do you want to leave and save. And for the look of it, I like the old stuff, but for the longevity of it, I know the best is just to replace all that. You know, replace that, rebuild the doors, put all new seals and stuff in them, because then, you know, water's just gonna be getting in again. Patches. Let's go do some patches. Let's go put a light on. All right. Driver's side's better than the passenger side. This one, this is actually working backwards, but this guy and this guy, these are just two rot holes that were in the base of it. I just chopped them out and welded up a couple little patches for it. On the other side, it's got some more to it. You see that fairly large one up in the wheel well there, and then there's another one down below. Yeah, I'll walk around the other side. Alright, so you got this one. That's probably, I think that's 18. That's probably about 12 or 13 to there, and this is, I think it was 13, you know, including the bend, bringing it down. And then I just had to relocate the bracket for the seat. And this one was the first one I did, and I got a little snazzy. I kind of followed the pattern of the you know, the rest of the ribs that were bent into it. So but it was taking too long. When I went to this one, I said screw it. It's just gonna be one solid one. I'm gonna run around the edges of this with the window urethane, window sealing urethane on those two instead of seam sealer. I'm gonna see how this stuff works. I think I like it better than seam sealer. Here's some of it. Here's the old. Here's what's already been like put in. It's like, let me explain it to you. It's harder than silicone, but softer than seam sealer. You know, a seam sealer, you know, you're not going to put your fingernail in it later on. Once it gets hard, it gets hard as a rock, you know. But I think this stuff will keep to have some give as this thing moves around. Just don't know how it's going to hold up to, you know, rust. I put it on bare metal to get a good bond and seal out any moisture that can get in there, but I don't know if that's going to be a problem later on where it does get moisture in there and rots it out faster. Who knows? All this stuff's going to get painted, but anywhere I got open welds and stuff, I'm going to just try and get some kind of grease or the bar and chain oil set up, sprayed up under everything, and just kind of really soak everything down. But on the outside, probably the wax. Anyway, that was a rant. Patch, and I started working on the front floor, and the front beam. I don't know what you can be able to see down here, but I should jack it up. Let me jack it up. See from underneath. I want to work on those gates so bad. That's the fun stuff right there, you know. But you gotta build the foundation before you build the roof, I guess. There's what the rust that was cut out of the floor there. Got a new gas tank coming. What else did I order? All new flex lines for the brakes. And 2 emergency brake cables that I do not need. But I'll put them in anyway. I grabbed the creeper. This video getting too long for you guys? Yeah, sometimes forget when I'm running. Alright. So here's what we got. This whole front facade right here is the pan that bolts here. This whole front facade, it's there and it's not. It's blown out in some spots, and then everywhere else it's kind of there, but it's just punky, you know, like look at that, you know. And now this is after I whacked it with a hammer and blew it all out and everything. At what point do I stop? And that's what I was doing. I started making pieces for this side because as I said, the passenger side was worse. But I rebuilt this channel coming down and welded to what was left. Then I built a little outrigger coming underneath the step here. This is the bottom box of the step and on the dog leg. And then this is an attachment point for the bumper. It kind of helps stabilize the bumper on the outer edge. And then this is kind of like a front, I don't even know what you want to call it, you know, front frame loop, we're going to call it. Anyway, and made another pan for right here and wrapped it. But, you know, everything that it attaches to is just pretty much punky. You know, there you go. So you can kind of see it's like that, you know, on the bottom, this bottom corner all the way around. So, it's not like it doesn't hold anything strength-wise, like nothing's mounted to it that's critical for function of the vehicle. It's just, you know, it's what the front skin connects to, and you know, strength of it. If it was in an accident, you know. So at some point, it's probably going to end up getting to be replaced. And then I have to get into the lower part of the front skin and everything. But it's not so terrible that if I don't soak it with oil and just kind of leave it, it should be suitable for a while. So there's a couple of pieces like that. So it'll be that front. It's going to be the left rear corner where I made those patches for that, and this dog leg. This dog leg is punky. You can see through it in a bunch of different places. You know, you see the light coming through. So this dog leg is pretty rusted to death too. So sometime in its future that may get done, but for now I'm just trying to make it so that I can get on the road, get it driving, using it, and living a little bit of a happy life, you know. But it's not ruled out. The one in my 67's worse. It was worse. So, and again, it's got a new master cylinder and it got new hard lines for it. The shifter coupler's in there. Emergency brake is already freed up. The brake setup needs to be freed up. Everything here is kind of like punky and stuck together. This is where the master cylinder goes. Alright guys, well I figured I'd just give you a little catch up to where we're going with it. And I want to put that stuff on that door so bad too, the wax, and get the shine to it. But I'm afraid I want to get all the welding done first, because if the crap gets in, it just gets to be a pain in the ass when you're welding, smoking and everything, you know. All right, this one's getting long enough. I'm rambling. Again, thanks for watching, comment, and subscribing. Take care. Bye.